وحبيب قلوبنا أبي القاسم محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المظلومين وأصحابه المنتجبين ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى قيام يوم الدين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. أما بعد، السلام عليكم جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته. أعظم الله أجورنا وأجوركم بمسابنا بأبي الحسن علي ibn Abi Talib alayhi salatu wassalam. Since these are the blessed days of the month of Ramadan and they are attributed to the commander of the faithful, Imam Ali alayhi salatu wassalam, I would briefly like to say a few words on this or about this great person. In the merits of Imam Ali salamullah alayhi, we cannot do justice through words to the caliber of this person and to what he has of virtues. They cannot be explained away. If we were to begin to talk about him, what would we say about him? On the one hand, we find his knowledge base when he discusses the origins of the earth and the solar system. And we find that his descriptions that he provided 1,400 years ago are absolutely accurate according to our scientific understanding and appreciation of the origin of this solar system. If we talk about his understanding of God, the minds are baffled truly when he says, God is with everything, yet he does not touch anything. God is other than everything, yet there is no distance between God and anything. In another place, Ali states that God is not contained within anything, yet nothing is free of God. Should we talk about his swordsmanship, his bravery? Should we talk about his eloquency? Should we talk about his charity? Do we talk about his justice? What aspect of Ali can we talk about and do justice to him? The man is an exemplary in every way that we look at him, unequaled and second only to his blessed brother, the Prophet of Islam. Amongst the tributes that the Prophet has paid to Ali salamullah alayhi is what Bibi Aisha reports, that the Prophet would stare at the face of Ali, and at times I would ask him, O Messenger of God, why do you become transfixed at Ali when he is in your midst? The Prophet said, An-nadhar ila wajh Ali ibn Abi Talib ibadah. Looking and beholding the face of Ali is a form of worship. On another occasion, Aisha narrates, I believe, that the Prophet would excessively talk about his brother Ali. And we would ask him, but why do you talk about Ali so much as opposed to other Sahaba? And he would say, remembrance of Ali and making mention of him is no less than devotion to God. What can we say about this man who was so dear and close to the Blessed Prophet? But I suppose the greatest tribute paid to him was by the Prophet, and that would sufficiently describe what Ali was. The Blessed Prophet said, Ana wa Ali abawa hadhihi al-ummah. Me and Ali are the two fathers of this ummah. This, I believe, is that description of Ali that most aptly encapsulates the being of Ali. Like the Blessed Prophet, he was the father of the ummah, a gentle, caring parent, a loving soul, a just person, somebody cut from the prophetic substance itself. He was not merely an endowed scholar. He was a person carrying the light of divinity from the Blessed Prophet in his chest. And we can see this in every way within the life of the Blessed Imam Ali, in every walk of life, in every one of his statements, in all of his actions. It is a great shame, though, that we compare Imam Ali and we try to impose upon the minds that Ali was worthier. Ali Salamullah alayhi rubbed shoulders with the greatest man history has ever produced, or the people history has ever produced. It's unjust to compare people with Imam Ali. After the Prophet, there is no one like Ali ibn Abi Talib. And I, for one, have not accepted this, being born within a faith that sees Imam Ali as a champion within humanity after the Prophet. I have gone through the hard way in trying to learn about this man and then arrived at this particular conclusion. When the people migrated from Makkah to Medina, the Blessed Prophet established what is known as the bond of brotherhood between the people of Makkah and Medina. He made a person from the migrants a person from the host community of Medina. But he resisted making a brother for his own self, until Ali came to Medina and he said, Ali will be my brother. You can imagine the place that Imam Ali had within the soul of his blessed brother, the Prophet of Islam. But if we were to talk about Imam Ali, then I suppose we ought to talk about his personality at the level of that basic fundamental of his personality, and that was that he did not care for worldly gain or glory. He was a person committed to righteousness and committed to the care of humanity and committed to the principles of justice. Unlike others, he did not care for gain or popularity. When he took office of Khilafah, and by the way, the Blessed Prophet did say to Imam Ali, according to the literature that both the Shias and the Sunnis accept, particularly the Sunnis, that Ali, you will not have to go out to people to gain support. You are like the Kaaba. The people will converge upon you and come to you. And we see that in the case of Imam Ali, only in the case of Imam Ali, amongst the Khulafai Rashida, that the people came from all four corners, surrounded Ali and demanded that he should take the Khilafah. And at this point, when he took the Khilafah, he uttered the words that had it not been for a covenant given to God by those who know that they will restore social justice and give back to the oppressed their rights and take from the oppressors, I would have casted the reins of Khilafah upon its own back, as I did so for so many years before this time. So Imam Ali did not care for momentary gain or popularity. He was committed to that which was truthful, that which was righteous, and that which was just. We find this, that when he took office, he was advised that, O Ali, do not remove certain people from office, for politically it will not be prudential or shrewd. The Imam replied to them, he said, yes, it is true that if I want to perpetuate my power, I need to keep these people in office. However, the injustices committed by these people during previous Khilafah is to an extent that my sense of righteousness and commitment to humanity and God does not allow me to see them in office even for a moment. And then he dismisses them. This is the nature of this great man. The way he understood righteousness, the way he understood care for people. When we look at his dealings with his governors, he did not favor them over the truth, nor over the people that he ruled upon. Uthman bin Hunayf was his governor in Kufa. But he kept somebody to keep an eye over Uthman bin Hunayf and the way Uthman bin Hunayf dealt with the people. On an occasion, it reached him that Uthman bin Hunayf was invited to a banquet where only the wealthy were invited. He writes a letter to Uthman bin Hunayf and he says, "O Uthman, how can you, a representative of Amirul Mu'mineen, commit yourself to going and partaking in a banquet where only the rich were invited and the poor were abandoned? It does not befit you to represent me in this way, as if to say that the poor are my family as much as the rich are. You cannot discriminate, not you, the one who represents me. And he says to Uthman, Uthman, do you know the state of your Imam? I have sufficed in my sustenance with 2 pieces of breads. And in my garments, I have sufficed with a torn garment. I know you cannot emulate this, but try to be pious and just and righteous and God-fearing at least. On another occasion, Imam Ali states that had I wanted to, in this position of Khilafah, I could have eaten the best of wheat. I could have consumed the sweetest of honey. I could have worn the softest of garments. But is it right for me to partake of worldly blessings, bounties and enjoyments when people around me are struck with poverty and hunger and thirst? Should I satiate myself whilst there are livers burning around me? Then at the epic part of this khutbah with his eloquency, he says, وَإِنَّ دُنْيَاكُمْ هَذِهِ This dunya of yours, لَأَهْوَنُ عِنْدِي, means less to me, مِنْ وَرَكَةٍ فِي فَمِّ جَرَادَ تَقْدِمُهَا, than a leaf in the mouth of a locust that is chewing it. This was the great sense of his care for his people and sense of righteousness and justice. Look at his beautiful words and the way this man is. At times, he said, it is easier for me to stand on thorns, bare feet, and be enchained and be dragged upon my face than for me to meet with my Allah and His Messenger on the day of Qiyamah, having wronged any one of the creatures of Allah. Such is the beauty of this man's soul. He is an example for us to emulate. He left the worldly authority in order to establish a godly example that would live on for years and centuries till eternity within the hearts and minds of people who, after 1,000, 2,000 years, will look back at his khilafah and say, this was a worthy khilafah for a virtuous human community. Ali did not die with the blade being struck upon his head. Ali lives as the aspirations of humanity where humanity needs to arrive at. People are making a huge mistake in saying that he was the first Imam or the first Khalifa. He wasn't. Any of these things, none of these things do him justice. He was beyond the fourth Khalifa and beyond the first Imam. He was a model for humanity to emulate as humanity seeks to complete its godliness. That is where Ali belongs after his brother, the Blessed Prophet of Islam. His example is the one that will ultimately model our minds. In his reign of Khilafah, he ensured that nobody went to bed hungry within his locality. On a night, he became unwell. Al-Hassan said, "O father, allow me to go and distribute this food." Ali said, "O Hassan, I fear that you may miss a hungry mouth. And on the day of Qiyamah, I will be faced with that person in embarrassment. O Hassan, it is my duty. Allow me to commit my duty." At the peak of Khilafah, he was seen mending his torn slipper and patching it. Ibn Abbas went to him, he said, "O Ali, the ones who have gone before you, look at how lavishly they lived. And you mending a torn slipper?" He looked at Ibn Abbas, he said, "Ibn Abbas, by Allah, if I cannot bring about social justice and equity and giving of the rights of all, your Khilafah means less to Ali than this torn slipper that I mend." In the battle of Siffin, he rose upon a hill and he gave this sermon. And he said, "O people, I have rights upon you, but you also have rights upon me." This was the first time we hear in history that a ruler and a leader with uncontrolled power has said to the people, "You have a right upon me, which is equal to my right upon you." Holding himself accountable to the people. Even today, the people who have the most arbitrary form of leadership do not find themselves fully accountable. He said, it is only when a proper system of rights is enacted that you find a healthy and a prospering community that no demonic hands can reach. If we look at the crisis within the world today, it is only because of this inequality of rights, that a few exploit the majority. I wish to narrate his human side though, just a little bit before I finish this part of the khutbah. In his khilafah, on a particular night, he was out looking at Kufa. There was a woman who was laboring in carrying foodstuff. He went to that woman and he said, allow me to assist you. She said, so be it, O man of God. He said, I will walk in front of you. Direct me to your house. As she walked behind him, she began to lament of what had befallen her, that she was struck with poverty and she had young children and her husband was away guarding the Islamic borders. She said, look at this Khalifa living in a palace, eating lavishly, living in comfort, and he sends our husbands to guard the boundaries. Imam did not say anything. She did not cease to complain, for there was hurt in her heart and grievance. He brought the food to her house. He said, O maid of God, is there anything else I can do for you? She said, I have to cook for these little children, entertain them for a while. So outside the house, Ali entertains those little children. The children said, oh man, we do not have a horse and we have never ridden upon a horse. The Imam said, let me go down on my knees, ascend my back, I will be your horse. The two little children ascend his back. And then they said, oh man, the horses neigh. Ali made the sound of neighing of the horses. The woman came and she said, oh man, may Allah bless you for looking after my children and carrying my load for me. Ali bid her farewell and he left. An onlooker came to the woman and she said, do you know who this man is? He's the Khalifa of the Muslims. She ran to Ali to plead forgiveness. He said, oh maid of God, this is my duty, I have not done a favor upon you. On an occasion, we find Ali on the back of his steed. The Persians were running behind him, venerating him. He stopped, he looked back. He said, oh people, what is this that you do? They said, this is how we venerate our leaders. He said, I am a humble slave of God. Do not venerate me in this way. I am unworthy of this. And he left. We find Ali working in the farms, eating stale bread. When travelers would ask him for food, he would offer them the bread. When they would find that they are unable to chew into it, they would say, oh, Ali, how can you eat such stale food? He said, by Allah, it would have been worthy for a feast of Eid for my brother, the Blessed Prophet of Islam. When people would come to him, he would say to them, you know you will get your rights from me, but never, O people of Kufa, have I been hopeful of getting my rights from you. You know this well, but I'll still narrate it. His brother Aqil came to him. Ali narrates that he brought his children. Their faces had gone bony, their complexion had become pale, their hair unkempt. Ali said that Aqil asked me for a fistful of your barley. I heated an iron rod and I drew it near to him. Aqil screamed. He said, oh Ali, do you wish to burn me? Ali said, "Oh Aqil, is it not strange that you scream like a child at the prospect of the worldly fire prepared playfully by a child touching you, and you invite me to leave the precepts of justice and favor you, my blood, over the rest of the Muslim Ummah, and then face the torment of the hereafter before my God and Habib? How dare, Aqil, did you entertain the thought that I would ever do such a thing, O Aqil?" This was Ali. I will finish with these two sentiments. Ali said once, "If all the heavens were given to me with everything within them, all their treasures, and in return I was to be asked to extract a husk of barley from the mouth of an ant unjustly, by Allah, I would not do so." Such is Ali. Can we recite a Surah Fatiha for all our marhumeen and for the well-being of all those who are unwell and for the well-being of our world at large? Al-Fatiha. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين وآله الطيبين الطاهرين. أما بعد, السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. In terms of his care for his people, I will narrate a couple of incidences at the point where he gets assassinated. When he was struck down by that fatal blow, as he descended upon the dust of Kufa, he cried out, "Abdul Rahman ibn Muljim is my assassin. La yuqtal bi illa qatili. None shall be killed save my killer." Why did he say this at that point? Because when Khalifa Umar was assassinated, in the frenzy, people were running in every direction, and everybody went out killing anybody who was fleeing, not knowing who was the assassin. Ali was mindful even at that stage that the blood of the Muslim Ummah of his should not be spilt unjustly. On his deathbed, he says to Al-Hasan and Al-Hussein and to the Bani Hashim, he says, "لا ألفينكم تخوضون في دماء المسلمين تقولون قتل أمير المؤمنين." Let me not find you partaking in the blood of the Muslims, crying out the slogans that Amirul Mu'mineen has been killed. Why did he say this hours before his death? Because when Khalifa Uthman was killed, the first civil war took place with Bibi Aisha saying that she wanted to avenge the blood of Uthman, and she fought against Ali. And then the second civil war took place when Muawiyah, with the same pretext falsely, came and fought with Ali ibn Abi Talib salamullah alayhi. He said, "Look, I do not want you to do the same. I have been killed. Whoever the conspirators were. Do not spill the blood of the Muslims." Where do you find such a person? On an occasion, Muawiyah's people had attacked the lands under Ali salamullah alayhi's control. When Muawiyah's people told him, "What if there's a reprisal? What if Imam Ali mounts an attack?" He said, "Never. Ali is far too just. He knows that the people who are responsible for killing have already dispersed. And if he were to mount an attack, he will be killing innocent people. And indeed, that is exactly what happened when Kumail bin Ziyad wrote to Ali and he said, allow us to attack them. And Imam Ali said, oh Kumail, how could you even propose such a thing to me? Do you think I would allow the killing of even one innocent person when the perpetrators have already escaped? Abdul Rahman ibn Muljim was brought before Ali. Ali has been struck. The Imam looked at him and he said, Abdul Rahman, was I an evil Imam for you? Did I not give you shelter when you came here as a stranger? Did I not feed you when you had no provision? Abdul Rahman said, O Ali, shall you save the one whose path is to the fire? Imam looked at him and said, O Hassan, untie your captive. Hassan said, O father, he is your assassin. Do you not see how the fear of death grips him? Untie him. He said, O Hassan, I beseech you by my right upon you that you will give him to drink what you drink, you will give him to eat what you eat, and you will keep him well. If I live through this, then the decision will be mine. If I wish to forgive him, it will be my right. If this blow of his takes me, then it will be your right to strike him down once as he has struck me. After burying Ali, Al-Hassan and Al-Hussein, with the rest of the Bani Hashim, are returning to Kufa. They pass by ruins at the boundary of Kufa, and they hear the lamenting of a person. They enter within the ruins and they find an old man. And the old man was crying. They said, why do you cry? I cry for my friend who has abandoned me. Describe your friend, O man. He said, I am blind. I did not see him. Do you have any descriptions that you may offer so that we might find your friend? Yes. He would come in the depths of night and feed me with his own hands. Then he would entertain me. And then he would busy himself in chanting the names of Allah. And as he chanted the names of Allah, everything around him began to sing the names of God. They said, any more descriptions? Can you say anything else? Yes. On occasions, he would breathe a deep sigh and say, Gharib, Jalis, Gharib, Miskeen, Jalis, Miskeen. A stranger sits with another stranger. A poor man sits with another poor man. They said, oh man, that was our father and the Khalifa of the Muslims, who we have just buried. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala abundantly bless the soul of our dear Prophet, the blessed Prophet and all the prophets that went before him of his noble brothers. May Allah bless the souls of Muhammad, Ali, Fatima, Hassan, Hussein, and the 9 offsprings from the lineage of Hussein. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalam ala ashrafil anbiya wal mursalin wa alihi at-tayyibin at-tahirin. Allahumma salli wa sallim ala Muhammadin al-Mustafa wa ala Aliyin al-Murtada wa ala Fatimat al-Zahra wa ala al-Hassan al-Mujtaba wal Hussein al-Shahid bi Karbala wa ala Ali ibn al-Hussein wa Muhammad ibn Ali wa Ja'far ibn Muhammad wa Musa ibn Ja'far wa Ali ibn Musa wa Muhammad ibn Ali